Meat City, baby.
Hello and welcome back to Meat City Gaming. JD here with another episode of Battle Bites here in World of Tanks. And today we are once again in the Cromwell Knight, Tier 6 British Premium Medium Tank, basically a carbon copy of the Cromwell, the Tier 6 Tech Tree tank with a fancy paint job. And we're in a standard battle on Prokhok. And a lot of my battles I try to do high tiers, tier 8s, 9s, and 10s, but every once in a while it's nice to just drop down a little bit and play something in the mid tiers, especially when it's the Cromwell Knight here at tier 6. You can have a little bit more fun and you're not usually punished quite as badly for a single mistake. Up at tier 10, there's so many big guns that can remove half or all of your tank in one hit. It's nice to be able to have a little bit of flexibility in these lower tiers. So I'm in an early position here where I like to sit and do a little bit of spotting, take a pot shot or two if I can, but forget about that. The enemy team pushes super aggressively down the one line, which again, something that you don't typically see up in the tier 10 battles. People play a little more slowly and carefully and guarded. Not here. These guys went blitz down the one line. I get spotted and I get flushed out of that location. I took a couple of pot shots on my way out and was rewarded with one kill and a couple of hits and a whole bunch of spotting damage on the way out of there. So we are in full retreat mode. Enemy tanks on that one line, enemy tanks on the mid ridge. Anything that can see me is taking shots. We can see them whizzing past the tank as I am just trying to break contact in a zigzag pattern so that my movement isn't predictable, get away, and finally we drop our spotted status and we can reestablish some stealth here and try to set up the second line of defense. Because the enemy pushed so aggressively down the one line, they're gonna make it down to this to the K block, and then they can look into the enemy, into our base, the friendly base, and start shooting from there. And if they're also shooting from the mid, they've got like two really good angles of attack. Thankfully, we've established ourselves behind a bush, and the big top there was on very low health and was open and available for us to put in one single shot to secure our second kill of the game. So only 161 damage, but 2 kills. So I'll take it. So now the enemy team, again, they're just pushing aggressively here. We've got a Chaffee on the move, and I do a nice job there of holding the shot, waiting, and then when they're driving right at you, that makes it so much easier to lead the shot. He just had a little bit of a downward angle coming down the hill, so I was able to accurately put that shot where we wanted to go. Now we see an AMX-12T very briefly there on the enemy team. That guy is going to be a pain in the butt. Super long range. The shell velocity, for all the things I love about the Cromwell Knight, the shell velocity is a little slow. If you're shooting at something moving quickly from long range, good luck, because the shells do kind of loop and take their time to get where they're going, which makes leading a target very difficult, especially if it's one that is at least somewhat maneuverable. Okay, so that went pretty well. We can see we kind of fended off the attack. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 enemies spotted, and there's only 7 left. We know where the entire team is right now. So there's a Skoda T25. He is completely isolated. I feel like I can go in and I can win this engagement. The Cromwell Knight's a great tank. I've got a good crew in it. And the Skoda T25, not great from what I remember when playing that tank. And yeah, we're able to get in there. We have his side. We're putting the shots in, and my reload is really good here. I'm beating the traverse here. I'm able to move to the side. His shots are missing. And then, yep, he tries to stop. We just do a little swing by, get to his front. Again, we're beating his turret traverse, put that last shot in, and that went really well. But, ooh, we take a big hit from way down range, something that's not spotted. So instead, we're going to break. Again, I was hoping to push up there and get some spotting, some vision. We know all the enemies are up in that corner now. But because they could see me and I couldn't see them, I decided to pull back and try to come at it from a different approach. So we've got a light tank just over the ridge here. And again, I'm trying to come up. The Knight has pretty good vision, but not good enough. We get spotted again, so I'm going to get down into the dip. Again, we don't want to be taking big fire from targets that we can't see. If we can't see them, our allies can't see them, and that's basically just free damage for the enemy team. So there is a T21, and he comes over the ridge. Unfortunately, he takes out my ally, but I did a nice job here. That is one of the hardest shots, I think, in the game, where you're moving, the enemy is moving. You can't just do an auto aim shot because the lag, that shot will go behind, and you can't zoom in because your turret traverse or your mouse traverse isn't fast enough. So instead, I stayed in third person mode, aimed a little bit ahead, did a nice lead, secured the kill, and got rid of that T21, which kept the score the same with us up 1 tank. That T21 eliminated a friendly tank, and then we got him in return. So very close battle, back and forth the whole time. a nail biter throughout, but things are progressing very quickly, and there's not really much time to catch our breath here. Okay, SU-100M1, big threat, and while I'm looking at that, there's the AMX-12T again, pops up behind us. He puts one in. Then one of the things the Knight can do on these low caliber tanks when it's facing tanks with small guns, you can get the side angled where you'll be able to bounce a couple of shots. Thankfully, the next two shots after that first one did bounce, and we were able to preserve most of the health of our tank from that kind of free shot that the AMX-12T had. Now, that tank does have an autoloader. He's fired at least 3 shots. I do want to try and pressure him and not let him get free for a reload. He's on very low health. So we're going to move in here, and then, oh, I think that dead wreck of a tank absorbed that first shot. So again, you can see how difficult it is. Trying to free aim that second shot, couldn't quite get enough lead on it. So now he's down into the dip, but he's isolated. I'm going to go in after him because nothing else will be able to shoot me from his team. And again, we are struggling here with this, circling ring of death kind of thing. I get one shot in, but I think I only hit his tracks. I get tracked and stopped, but that frees me up to focus just on my camera. I get a little bit of a lead and take out that AMX-12T. And while I was doing that, the rest of my team was doing some good work as well to make the scores 6-2. And then we quickly lose a VK again to that SU-100M1. We do not want to get hit by that guy to make it 5-2. So we know both tanks are down here in the left. They're in the B1-ish area. So I'm going to try and creep up. And again, I think I probably have the best spotting on my team right now. So I want to get vision, but I want to try and do it without getting spotted in return. So camping this bush, taking a look. Will they shoot? Will they get spotted? Will they make a mistake? No. Okay, we're going to move up to the next bush. Let's see if that helps. And yes, there we go. Okay, the SU-100 is spotted, but we bounce. Okay, so now I see he's backed off. He's down the ridge. I don't think he has line of sight on me. And there's the VK. Okay, he's really far away. There's lots of bushes in between us. I feel like I can shoot. One shot into the side is good. 2 shots in. I should give a little bit more lead there. There we go. That's better. 3. Oh, we got a little lucky. That one kind of went up and over the ridge. We didn't have much of that tank to shoot at. And now I've got the SU-100M. Yes, one into the side. And he's turning here to face the friendly medium tank who's looping around him. And we put one off of the bounce, one into the tracks. Another one bounces. I just cannot get lucky with this SU-100M1. His armor is holding up. And again, a dead wreck of a tank right in the way to absorb my shot. The VK is gone. It's just the SU. We're on 5 kills. I want that top gun. It's time to go hunting. I stop because the auto aim isn't working. I'm looking. No, there's that tank in the way. We shoot. The SU-100 takes out another ally. He's on 18 health, and I just can't get around this dead tank. It just keeps blocking all my shots. Auto aim. Don't fail me. Oh, no. The last shot there, the auto aim went a little bit, I think, high and right. And before my next reload, before I was able to stop and fully aim, my ally comes in and cleans up the kill. And we can see that the SU-100M had quite a game for a loss on the enemy team. Still took second overall in the battle, only behind me in the Cromwell Knight. So 5 kills, 2,943 damage. Pretty good game for that tank destroyer on the enemy team. So shout out goes to Elite in Ked. And really good game. Thankfully, we had just enough there at the end to hold off and get the win. Unfortunately, not enough to secure that last kill to get that 6th kill and the top gun. Taking a look at the post-battle results, we can see 5 kills, 1,816 damage, which again, for the Cromwell is pretty good. 23 direct hits. This gun, I think it's only 135 or 140 average damage. So to get over 1,800 damage, you got to put in quite a few hits. 861 assistance damage on top of that. We were doing some pretty good spotting there early in the battle. And then again, late, we had a couple of spots as well. I guess we blocked 2 shots from that AMX-12T. I think that's the 135. Or no, maybe I think we blocked 1 and the tracks absorbed 1. So maybe that's where that number comes from. And all of that gets us just shy of 20,000 in terms of silver earned for the battle. And that's not bad when you're considering that I'm using some premium consumables for this tank without a premium account. And if we had been running premium, almost 45,000 in silver for a tier 6 battle, that would have been a pretty nice result. Taking a look at the medal page, we have a fire for effect, a bruiser, and a fighter for that 5 kills. Unfortunately, not quite enough for the top gun. All of that comes out to a first class mastery badge, a very nice result for the Cromwell Knight. Again, this wasn't a dominating performance. It was a scrappy performance, right? We had our early game plan get blown up. but we adjusted well. We took out some early kills. We had some like very low damage, but secured kills, got some vision, had a nice, really nice battle with that Skoda T25, right? That was a great result for the tank. And then we just kind of picked our spots and helped out where we could, cleaned up some kills, chased down some enemy tanks. All in all, a very, very solid performance. Not quite a dominating performance that you need to get the ace tanker. And looking at the team results, again, our shout out of the match is going to go to the enemy team, a rarity, but I think it's well deserved for Elite in KED in the SU100M1 for almost 3,000 damage and 5 kills. I'm guessing if they had been able to get a win out of that battle, that would have been an ace tanker for that tank. They were doing really well, doing some good work in that tier 7 tank. Although in a tier 7, shooting some tier 6s, maybe not quite. But really good performance from him. And the rest of my team, we had some really nice performances, some solid performances, but nobody that really elevated themselves above the rest of the pack like the enemy SU did. So we'll give the shout out to the enemy team. That's going to wrap this one up. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you next time.